This week, after several years of building and months of planning, we bring a new aircraft into the skies.
Well, good morning. It's November 5th, I believe, and I'm leaving Sky Manor this morning, flying down to Doylestown. It's been several months working with Mike off and on. We've been a little bit delayed on his RV-12, and the hope is today we'll do another high-speed taxi test and a final checkout of the plane, and if everything's good, we might even do our test flight today. We're trying not to put too much pressure on ourselves, but so far everything looks good. I had a few issues months ago that were sorted out with the carbs, with gasculator strainer, and we upgraded the panel software last week. Everything looks really good. So I think we're probably good to go. It depends how Mike feels. The winds are good enough. We wanted to take off towards the north. There's more open fields north of the airport at Doylestown. We thought that would be safer. And the wind is pretty light today. So that's the goal. So hopefully if things work out, we'll be doing a first flight in a few hours. And Doylestown traffic, light sport, turning left base for 5, Sky Manor. Doylestown. Departing aside and light sport's clear of 5, Doylestown.
So after a pre-flight inspection, we ran the engine on the ground, and we had a fuel leak. It turns out both carbs were dripping fuel, and we dropped the carb bowls, found a little bit of dirt in both bowls and cleaned them out. In fact, we took the carbs almost completely apart, making sure that they were in working order. And we did find that both the float needle valves were not seated correctly in the carbs, and that's why the fuel was being ported over the side. So we mounted them back correctly, tested the engine again, and everything looked a-okay for some ground taxi. So after we taxied around the hangars for a little while, and we completed a high-speed run down the runway, checked the brakes, everything seemed to be in working order, and we decided it was time to do our first flight. We were ready to go.
Somebody's on left base.
Okay. 4992 Whiskey, send the left crosswind 5, Doylestown.
So it looks like 2 aircraft in the pattern. One guy's there and one at cross. So we'll wait. Coming on. Okay, you can taxi out.
Okay.
Doylestown traffic, experimental RV-12, taking the active 5. We'll be climbing up and circling over the airport at 2,500, Doylestown.
Doylestown traffic, sign up for 9 Kilo Whiskey, clear of the active 5, Doylestown.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's get lined up right in the center line. Move it over. Let's make sure right in the center. Good. Okay. Gentle all the way, full throttle. A little bit of stick back pressure. A little bit of more back pressure. Okay, hold it, hold it. And we're climbing.
Here we are.
Good work, okay?
I'm having to hold back pressure.
I push a little forward. Okay, trim down. Is the trim helping?
I gotta trim up.
I'm going to stop the video right here. You know, when you record yourself flying and speaking on the radio, it can be a humbling experience. I really sound terrible sometimes. And one of the reasons I record a lot of videos is to try to improve. In this case, Mike said something. He said, I needed to use a lot of back pressure. And he was asking for help. He needed an adjustment. I immediately responded saying trim down, which, as you probably know, is wrong. If you need to pull back pressure, in all likelihood, I should be trimming the nose up a little bit to balance the pressure. In my experience taking off in RV-12s hundreds of times, I've always used down trim when I get out of ground effect and I'm established on my climb. at full power. And so I instinctively said to Mike, nose down.
Yeah, when we take off, you're going to notice we're going to need to do nose down trim right away.
And he corrected me. He said, no, I need to trim up. And I think he was correct. Now, it's a new aircraft. Maybe in his aircraft, the way it's rigged, he would need to trim up upon takeoff. Our weight might have been a little bit different than my typical experience flying by myself. So anyway, that was a good learning for me. And as you'll see, I made a few other little tactical errors as we go along as well.
Is the trim working?
Let's see. Yeah, that's good.
Hey, keep climbing. I want to climb more. We're a little too low here. We got 90 knots, so we can. And okay, we'll put the flaps out. I just put the flaps down.
Okay, you got the flaps down?
Flaps are down because you're going a little above 80 knots, so we want to make sure the flaps are down.
Okay, I'm going to stop here again. I made another little tactical error, and fortunately, it didn't seem to distract Mike, and it could have. In normal aircraft, most aircraft, when you retract the flaps, you raise them. When you lower the flaps, you're deploying the flaps. We took off with 1 notch of flaps, and typically in an RV-12, a lot of aircraft, above a certain airspeed, you're not supposed to have your flaps deployed. In the RV-12, it's actually about 82 knots. We were at 90 knots, so I knew I wanted to raise the flaps. I didn't want to deploy them any longer. But I think I used the terminology lowering the flaps. I lowered them because in the RV-12, the handle between the seats to raise the flaps is lowering the handle. And I think in the heat of the moment, I used the wrong terminology without even thinking. Fortunately, I do believe Mike understood what I was doing, getting rid of the flaps so that he wouldn't have to be concerned about that any longer. But again, playing back the video, listening to your voice, you realize the inaccuracies and mistakes that are pretty common. And this I wouldn't even realize until after the fact by playing the video.
Okay, good. Let's keep climbing. Okay, a little bit of right rudder, Mike.
Okay.
Try to center the ball. It'll make your climb will go better.
Skyhawk 789, departing runway 5, close traffic, WFA.
Okay, you're gonna cruise climb right now at 85 knots, which is fine. We could be a little bit more aggressive on the climb, but this is fine. Okay, how's our temperatures?
Looks okay.
Engine looks good. Okay. There's some traffic at our altitude over here. I see him. Let's keep climbing. Yeah, he's cutting right in front of us too. See him?
I see him.
Yeah. Okay, let's make a little left turn, gentle. Still climbing at 900 feet a minute, that's wonderful. Our altitude, what are we up to? 1800, good. Let's keep going to, well, we said 2500, we can go even higher.
Okay.
Again, the engine looks good. All the numbers look good.
So Mike and I flew a wide circle around the Doylestown Airport for several loops just to get a good feel for the aircraft and check all the parameters, which really checked out perfectly.
You're going to want to figure out if you've got a heavy wing, either left or right.
Okay,
it's not unusual, and we could...
yeah, I figure for today,
Doylestown traffic,
just,
Skyhawk 789.
you know, we don't have to do too much testing.
I understand.
Yeah.
I just want to know that coming in on final.
Right.
When we pull the throttle,
I
I just want to make sure.
Right.
I anticipate what it's going to try to do.
Good.
And is it going left? I'm not really...
No, I was doing that.
I don't know if it's really moving much at all. Is it?
Still sound traffic, Skyhawk 49er Kilo Whiskey.
It's got a slow tendency to go left, I think, Mike. Very little.
Hey, you can help me.
Okay, I'm helping.
Traffic.
Good, I don't like this trim. That's better. Okay, we're at about 1300, that's okay.
Tell me when you think I should turn base.
I want a little bit more distance there. Yeah, we're already down to 1200, so I want to get out a little bit further.
Okay, Jerry just departed 26. Hey, thanks.
Okay, experimental RV-12, you turn a left base for
Moving
5
altitude.
at Doylestown.
We're about a BMU now. We kind of we're
your power back?
So just so you know, you're still number 1.
Okay, all the way back.
Do I have enough flaps?
No, we want full flaps on final. We're not on final.
Okay.
Airspeed 60. That's okay here.
Okay, turn final.
Experimental RV12, turning final for 5, doors 10. Okay, a little bit more power. I'm putting full flaps in. We're high, that's okay.
789
Actually, pull power out, all the power out.
It is.
Good. I'm going to do a little slip here.
Okay. Now we're good.
Or a bit better. Okay, can I grab the power?
Sure. You got it.
Okay.
You got it, the power.
Okay.
Just,
Yeah,
on this.
there's no power. I just want to make sure we need it.
Yep.
Those are airspeed. We're doing great. 16, like this is perfect.
Okay.
Look at this. Okay. Just gonna hold it there. We're gonna be patient. Okay, I'm gonna pull the flaps off, Mike. It'll give us a little bit more control on the ground.
Okay. Good.
And then we can take this first turn off right here. Tell you what, you take the plane.
Okay.
Right off here. An experiment of the clear of 5, Dole 10, thank you.
No problem, Scott. Show final 5.
That was our first flight, by the way, in this aircraft.
Hey, congratulations. It looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Great work, man.
Oh, thank you.
You built an airplane and you flew it.